Okay. All right, we're going to get this meeting started. We're going to start our work session after I do the call to order. So please make note that all council members are here and present. And then next up is the invocation and pledges. And I would ask for the invocation if Sarah would come up and lead us in our prayer, and then our Mayor Pro Tem will lead us in our pledges.
There we go. Dear Heavenly Father, we thank you for this evening and for our distinguished city council, and that we are trying to work together for the city citizens and outreach and churches alongside the city for the betterment of our city. I pray that you bless each and every one of them, that you take care of them, and that you give them the wisdom that they need to further our city the way it needs to be correctly. And I praise you and thank you for our police and fire, that they are one of the best that I've ever seen in my entire life. And I thank you for giving me the opportunity to serve our community, Lord, and bless each and every one of these. Just in your name I pray. Amen.
First up in our work session is board appointments, and I asked this to be put on because Jeff and Kenneth and David, you guys been doing board appointments for several years, and we got board appointments coming up soon. So I was wondering for Griff and Ryan, the processes you've been using to do the board appointments, how you do the interviews, and do you see any reason to change any of that when we're doing the board appointments soon?
Mayor, the last time we did board appointments, we did quite a few interviews for especially on the P&Z side of things, and so that worked well. Just have everyone kind of come in individually in executive or in the session in the back. They don't do any public speaking, but they can just talk to us a little bit. We all have some questions for them, and I think we've had some good appointments in the last go around. So happy to continue that process.
Did you have a separate special meeting just to do board appointments, or did you do it during a regular council meeting?
During a regular council meeting, we just went into the executive session chamber.
Okay. Kenneth, your experience?
Obviously, being the longest sitting council members, I've done it both ways to where we've actually sat down and had special meetings where we interviewed each applicant. And I've also done it just by going by reference of if we know somebody and we know them for a while, you just kind of speak up for them and say, you know, hey, I can vouch for this person to show up. So I'll go with whatever direction everybody wants to go with.
Jeff?
Yeah, I've done it both ways along with Kenneth over the last 3 years. We have done special meetings for when we have a lot of people covering a lot. We did it like on a Monday night, I believe, from like 5 to about 8 with intervals. And then, of course, we passed like Mr. Vader's in the audience tonight. A lot of us know Mr. Vader and we vouch for him. But if Ryan, for example, wants to meet him, then we insist that they show up as well so he can get a chance to talk him up as well. But I think we've made some rare special appointments just based off of an application when we need to fill a gap right away. For example, P&Z needs a gap filled right away. Other than that, it's always been on short term up until the next appointment. So they're either filling and finalizing somebody else's or it was just appointed for a few months. That way they can go through the real process with everybody else.
Ryan, do you have any questions about the board appointment process or suggestions? Councilman Griffith?
No, I do not. We've did this before in 2023, so I've been through it at least once.
Okay, I mean, do you have any suggestions that you'd like to see new? Okay, so then my next question is that, Daryl, you're saying that we're having problems meeting a quorum.
That's correct. For the last 4 months, we've had issues with quorum with the Planning and Zoning Commission.
And BOA?
We've had one incident where we had no quorum on BOA.
And what's the impact that on city business?
It prevents the city from moving forward with any development, any allowances that may or may not be passed through the BOA. Mainly, our biggest issue has been planning and zoning. We have several developments that are waiting for approval or further discussion on what they can do, what they can't do. With that, we've had roughly about 3 developments that's put on hold. And sometimes once that's put on hold, a clock can start. And then after that clock starts, we only have 30 days to be able to make a decision. After the 30 days, it's automatically approved without any discussion from P&Z or council, which can cause an issue if it's something that we want adjusted or see something different. It prevents us from being able to regulate and govern what's taking place.
So when we're looking at the board appointments, and I'll start off with you, Griff. What are your expectations of board members? If we're going to be appointing board members, what are the guidelines? And then we'll see what we've done in the past for our board members.
Well, I feel like a lot of that's kind of spelled out in our, rules and regulations, if you will. But as far as my expectations is that those positions should be filled by people who represent our community that want to get out there and build good, strong relationships and represent the best of what Kennedale has to offer. And then just that if they're choosing to volunteer, that they understand the necessity to show up and what, the challenges for us are if they don't show up. So just understand that it's a commitment and it does require sacrifice of time and that it's important.
David, do you have any expectations?
I don't think I'd have anything in addition to add that Councilman Griffith didn't say, but when we're speaking to them and it's not always about looking for someone who has direct experience in that particular board. Just because you're not in construction or zoning doesn't mean you can't be on P&Z. Everyone on every board brings a different life experience to the board, to the dais. Bring that with you, employ that in your decision-making process. Of course, you have to learn what the process is and what the function of the board is. That's an important part of it. But don't be dissuaded or don't feel like you're not capable of being on it because you're not in that industry. Please come and apply. We will gladly speak to you. Maybe the one you apply to isn't the right board for you, but there are plenty of boards we need appointments for. Maybe there's something better we can put you on.
Kenneth, you've been on both sides of this.
I think a lot of it is it's a way for people to give back to the community and volunteer your time. I started out on boards and then I worked my way up and now I'm on council. It does take a little bit of dedication, especially with your P&Z. You need to take the time to understand your planning and zoning, your UDC and stuff like that. BOA is the same way. Parks, going by through experience on the parks, I feel we need to go to a different direction with them and actually give them something to do because I show up to those meetings on a regular basis and they just don't have any direction or a incentive to do something. I mean, they kind of just look at different items in different parks and saying, hey, can we do this? Can we do this? I would really love to get them involved with Hometown Christmas, the Trunk or Treat, all the events that we do and just have that be a part of the committee. And that'll help give them some direction instead of just showing up to a meeting and not really doing anything that they can bring to the council. And I just want to give it a different direction. KKB's been doing great. Economic development's good. BOA, I mean, we have 3 good members on there that show up on a regular basis. I don't think there's any problems with the library board, but a lot of it is the P&Z it's kind of a hit and miss. And I think a lot of it is the lack of volunteers that we've had in the past. And we changed the memberships or the board members down to 5 instead of 7 so we could reach that and have a quorum and stuff like that. But when we did that in P&Z on I think it was in 23, it never did get updated into UDC. So UDC says we should have 7 members, 4 being a quorum. So I don't know if we need to change that or still keep 7 members.
Jeff, again, you're somebody who's wide range of experience here.
Yes, I have a higher expectation, I guess, than probably the rest, because in the 15 years that I served, I only missed one day off of 2 full boards and being a chairman for 2 of those. So it's really important for me that it's that commitment every month. It's just once a month, or if it's a time you want to do it, but you can't do it once a month, BOA might meet 7 times at max a year. So there are boards that we can fill for those things. My minimal expectation is to show up, first of all. Second of all, read our charter. I think that's important. And I think a lot of people over the years have not yet read that. I also think it's important that we train these people. I think Darryl and I have been talking about this for a couple of years. I would like to secure a good board all around and do some training for them. I would love to see members of the EDC show up to some of the TML training as well, or the P&Z for the planning and zoning ones. That would be awesome. Maybe we should invite them. I'm not sure we invited them. And that's something our staff can do right before the meeting starts coming up, and to tell them which ones are coming up and explain to them we'll pay for it, and we're happy to. As far as the Parks Board, I'm going to agree with Mr. Michaels here. I think for both of us, it's something that's really personal to us. I watched that board get stripped away of its powers, which we were doing events. All events were going to that board. We were approving contracts on that board for renting the fields, for example. So it was a working board there for a while, excuse me, and previous powers just stripped that power away. I do want to give them something to do. We do have some park things coming that we're going to need them. In the meantime, we should give them something to do. I've said this for a decade. We should give them their own budget to do what they want, to update those swing that broke or something, just small things. And that should be put into a budget every year. And I think moving forward, we should do that. The staff has also used that board in the previous years as kind of like a liaison, a temperature. We're thinking about doing this. What do you guys think? And so you're getting citizen input from an advisory board, as you should. And I don't think that's been something that's been done for a couple of years now. So I would, again, I'm taking the Parks Board a little personally. I would like to see that changed moving forward, give them something to do, give them a budget, make them important, because we're adding a lot of parks and we already added a few. And so it's an important board. It's in our charter. It's not something we could just charter away. So let's give them something to do. But my minimal expectation is to show up at least once a month, read our charters, read the code, the zoning codes if you're in planning and zoning. Of course, if you're on KKB, you don't have to read that. But those are my minimum expectations. And then for us, training them. That should be our minimal expectation.
I was thinking, because you had mentioned at some point, and I know Griff has mentioned this too, is updating our plans. So well, almost all of our plans, if I'm not mistaken. And maybe we could get the Parks Board a little bit more involved when we get to the part of updating the Parks Master Plan would be a good idea to give them something to work on.
Absolutely. I look at the Parks Board like the Land Commission of Texas or the Railroad Commission of Texas. It's one of those boards you're like, oh, they don't really have power, but they have a lot of power. And that board used to have that kind of power. And I think for all of us, it's important for our citizen committees to have that power. That way it is coming from the citizens. Of course, we can finally approve or what we need to in the limits of what they can do, but that doesn't mean that they can't go to work for us on our behalf, because there's a lot that we have to intake. And just for people who are watching, that's this month. So it'll just help us, and then we can communicate with the ones that we appoint. Hey, these are my wishes. I would like the EDC to look into a pool, for example. These are my wishes. Go work it out and bring it back to us. And that's the nature of what is supposed to be happening. I just felt like that broke the last 10 years or so, and I want to fix it.
You were on the Park Board the last time we updated the Master Parks Plan with UTA, correct?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
Yes. And that was a great resource. I think we should test that resource again, and we haven't used them in a few years. I know you two are probably going to look into that, but there's several things they can do for us beyond the Parks Board. And they did a great job. Those master students are really good at what they do, and they have good leadership to push them in the right direction.
Yeah, it becomes a good capstone project for those students.
Absolutely. And we benefit because it's free. And that's, I mean, city governments or any municipality should be using big colleges that are nearby and those resources. That's why they're there in the first place, really.
Yeah, absolutely. That's one of their mission statements. Ryan, your thoughts about expectations of board members and
I agree with all points made. The most important one being P and Z. Right now, not being able to have a quorum, that stops all of our work. That stops our progress. So that dedication, that time commitment, that must be required. I believe in diversification. Expertise, you don't have to have expertise in that field. Just like Lever stated, I will provide that. The information is there. We need different ideas. We need the overall direction and leadership. And those would be my highest priorities. Showing up, that has to be one. Without that, this work that we're doing stops, you know. And so they are a part of this process, and the more viewpoints that are shared, the better we are overall. That's it.
yeah, and I must agree with what people have said here is that, and addressing to the people in the audience and whoever's watching, we want you to apply for boards, right? You know, it's okay to get on social media and complain, but if you come to a meeting and complain, we'll probably put you on a board and make you get involved in some of this work. You don't always have to agree with what all we're saying. Sometimes it's good to have some disagreements and outside eyes, right? I know that Councilman Griff and I have several heated debates occasionally before one of us hangs up on the other one. But we're looking for people like that that will have those kind of debates and give us their fresh views. So when we're looking here recently, we'll appoint when? October? If you're watching, get out and apply, right? It's not only just helping your citizens, but it is a pathway to better leadership. We recruit future leaders, as Kenneth said, from people who started on boards. I started on the P&Z. Jeff, you started on the Parks Board. I mean, it's one path to city leadership, and none of us are getting any younger. Jeff used not to have gray hair when I first met him.
Just 3 years ago, I looked young.
It's
This
gone
is
back.
3 years right here.
You know, and you know, I want to keep the P&Z at 7 because I want more eyes on a problem, not less eyes. I think that's always good. But like you were saying, if we're not getting people applying, so get out and apply, tell your friends to apply, and we're all out working to get people applying, aren't we? Yes. So hopefully we'll get that done. But as Jeff had pointed out and Ken has pointed out, and Daryl, I'm getting old, Daryl. We've got to get at least an emergency appointment onto the P&Z so that they can have a quorum. Are we good?
I would just like to think that your call dropped. I don't think you actually hung up on me, or maybe you lost a signal.
Yeah, the call dropped.
Mr. Mayor, just one final point. I'm glad you brought up
Yeah, good.
the future leadership thing because it is important. And you can see if you've been around for 20 years that we used to have that strong kind of leadership passing from board to this council. And then when that kind of broke, we kind of broke. And so I do think it's important to get those boards solid because if you don't know the nuances or the restrictions that we do have or the laws that govern us unless you participate. So you can always assume and go to Facebook and say, look, we're chilliting, we're cheaters, we're the worst ever, but we're just following the law. And you would know that if you served on the board or committee.
Yeah, and for those people, I say, come out and apply. Yeah, love to see you out here. That'd be a great thing. All right, so we'll get to start on that. Again, please apply for our boards. We want to have full boards. And, you know, my expectations is that you show up. And if you're an alternate, you show up if you're an alternate. So we need all of you out there participating and giving us your viewpoint. We may not always agree, but that's okay. All right, next up, presentations. That's always exciting. It's the, Brinson Benefits presentation by the Brinson Benefit representative, which is not easy to say, I just want to say.
A lot of bees. Good evening, Mayor and Council. My name is Dawn Brinson, and I'm the CEO of Brinson Benefits. And we are responsible for helping consult on all of the employee benefits that you evaluate each year for the employees. The most difficult thing is always the health insurance. And I believe in your packet, you've got a highlight of what occurred this year, but I will go over it briefly with you. We made the move a year ago to United Healthcare away from Blue Cross Blue Shield. The compelling reason for doing that was United Healthcare offered us a significant savings opportunity. It was 2.67% below the prior year, but more importantly, we avoided a pretty sizable increase from Blue Cross Blue Shield. Now, I don't want you to be personally offended by the increase we received because almost every city and government entity we work with saw some pretty astronomical increases last year. This year was no exception. So we are making a recommendation to you all based on the bids that we procured. We did ask 9 medical carriers to participate in the bid process. 4 did participate and put forward a proposal for our consideration. And unfortunately, United Healthcare took a turn this year and offered a really huge increase, which was 46%. And they weren't willing to come down very much. So it turns out that maybe this was a one-year deal, and it is our recommendation that you all consider moving back to Blue Cross Blue Shield this year. And that will help keep our rates at least more competitive, significantly more competitive than a 46% increase. If we accepted that, that would be $250,000 more to your budget. So that's a bit much. We also bid all of your other benefit lines like dental and vision. Those are much easier, and I'll speak to those in a minute. After all was said and done, we asked United Healthcare for rate relief in an attempt to retain the business with them, but they would not budge below like 3 percentage points. And so with Blue Cross Blue Shield, their overall increase, it's still an increase, was 21.45%. And then we started to work on plan design changes. One of the options that became viable, we currently have 2 medical plans that we offer employees, but a third plan came into view that if we were to make it available would help also with budget, it would help with benefits, and it would help with the payroll deductions that employees pay. So it's our recommendation that we go from offering 2 medical plans to offering 3. The third and new plan is an HMO plan. With Blue Cross Blue Shield, they have an HMO network that is sizable. It is not small. It's roughly 90% of all the doctors and pretty much all of the hospitals that you have had access to already. So all of the major hospital systems that your employees would expect would be included, and a very significant overlap in the HMO network. We suggest pairing that HMO plan as Plan 1 alongside a health savings account, high deductible health plan. And then the third plan would be a traditional PPO plan. So that means 2 of our plans, the HMO and the PPO, Plan 3, would have copays. For families who want access to first dollar benefits, copays for things like office visits, specialist care, and prescriptions, they could choose either the HMO or Plan 3, the PPO. Then there are people in the middle who would prefer a high deductible health plan. And so for them, that middle plan enables them an opportunity to also set aside money into a health savings account if they want to. So those are the 3 plans that we decided to recommend that you consider this evening. With all of that said, what that does to the city's share of the budget gets you to 12.81% above last year. I'll pause to see if you have questions about that.
Questions?
Just a couple of clarifications. First of all, I'm a huge United fan. I think they're a better quality than Blue Cross Blue Shield, but if I have to take out a bond to pay for that, I'm not sure I'm on board with that. I'm encouraged that Blue Cross Blue Shield has an HMO. I thought those died. With that in mind, either one you're talking about co-payments, do they still get the free annual checkup?
They do. All three plans, in fact, will cover preventive care, which is a significantly long list of those services at 100%, no deductible, no limit. So even routine care like cholesterol checks, blood pressure checks, routine preventive care, physicals, well child care, and all the immunizations, those are all things that all three plans will cover 100%.
Excellent. I think that's the most important thing out of all the coverage of health insurance is those annual checkups. And then what's about the difference between the HMO and PPO for the employee? What's the cost difference?
The cost differential will be.
Monthly, if you can.
I can tell you.
So we're increasing 12%. Are they increasing, or is it 12% just in general that we're splitting?
Overall, the invoice is going to increase 21.4, and some of that increase will be passed along for dependent care. So let me give you the payroll deductions. So we have 24 pay periods a year. The HMO will be paid 100% by the city. So there's a zero cost medical plan that you can continue to offer. If somebody chooses the next plan, moving to plan 2, they'd pay $54 a pay period. And if they move to plan 3, the PPO, the richer benefit, it's $111 per pay period. So that's the increment. For family, now the city does contribute significantly to dependent coverage, and it is something that you should be very proud of. For a full family, per paycheck, in the HMO plan, 165, I'm rounding off to getting rid of the pennies. If they want plan 2, it's 334. And if they want plan 3, it's 515.
I'm assuming that includes spouses. That's why it's so.
Spouse and children, all
So
children.
those children would be dramatically less.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Any other questions on the plan design?
Yes, I have a few, please. Could we start with your company, Brinson? Can you tell me how long you've been working with the city?
I can, actually. I was just looking that up. We have been working with you since 2009.
Wow.
And interestingly, I happen to bring with me a storyboard of your rates over that amount of time, if anybody cares for the copy I scribbled on. So if we go back in our magic time machine to the year 2009, you have actually averaged a 1.35% increase per year for each of those 16 years that we've had the privilege of working with you. So you're beating trend handily. Not every year is easy. Not every year is perfect, but we go up and down and try to keep it corrected.
That I agree with. Does your firm normally work with cities? Is that a large part of your clientele, or do you do private and city?
Yes, sir. We do both, but we have a very large block of municipal business, cities and counties.
Okay. Can you tell me how long we were with Blue Cross Blue Shield before last year?
No, but I do believe it was multiple years, like 4. 3 or 4.
Okay, because
It's rare that we would make a move one year and then move back the very next.
yes.
Pretty rare.
I believe you guys projected that last year, actually.
We did suspect, with the committee's help, we were concerned that they were, quote, what we would call buying your business, but you just can't avoid a 40 some odd % versus the offer to save. It enabled you to make improvements to the plan and for employee independent coverage.
No, you're fine, Jeff. Thank you.
Hmm?
This morning, reviewing the summary, the question I have was our loss ratio, and that's answered here. And that, quite honestly, isn't too bad what we did last year, even though it's notated as high. That's not really too bad. Currently looking at the largest claim being just right at 52,000. That could be a lot worse. All it takes is one cancer case, and you're well above that value. So,
Yes, sir. I agree with you completely. I'll speak to that. Your loss ratio is just under 91%. So ideally, they want their pool, the whole pool, to perform at lower than 85. And by federal law, they kind of have to. They're held to that standard. But one thing that's really good about your 7 claims, you have 7 large claims, but none of them are astronomical.
right.
And if we go back in our time machine, 3 years ago, your loss ratio was 625%, which is probably one of the worst loss ratios I've ever seen.
I
So
would,
you've significantly improved.
could you walk us through, we walked through the health side. Could we walk through the prescription side of the plan?
Yes, sir. Absolutely. So with Blue Cross Blue Shield, they have 4 copays depending on the tier of drug prescribed. If it's tier 1, which is usually generic, it's 0, 10, 50, or 100. So if you see a drug advertised to us on TV, then it's probably going to be a $100 copay in a preferred pharmacy. With Blue Cross, their preferred pharmacies all start with WAL, Walgreens or Walmart. Now you can go to other pharmacies like Kroger or Tom Thumb, but you would pay the second set of copays, which is 10, 20, 70, or 120. And if you go to CVS, you have no benefit at all, and that's because they have an affiliation with Aetna. Okay. In the second plan, the high deductible health plan, by federal law, in order to be health savings account qualified, all benefits other than preventive care have to be subject to the deductible first. So after a person meets the deductible of $7,500, then their drugs will be covered at 100%. And in Plan 3, copays apply the same as the HMO, $0 to $100. So we're trying to keep options that make the access to prescriptions affordable.
That's all I have. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
David?
Thank you, Mayor. Just one quick question. Was there a meaningful change in the deductible from Blue Cross Blue Shield to United, or was it pretty flat?
So Plan 1, the HSA qualified plan with United, the deductible is $6,750. And our new HSA plan is going to be $7,500. In the PPO, our deductible was $3,000, and the new PPO deductible is going to be $6,250. The HMO deductible is going to be $7,250. Now, I want to speak to a strategy that has worked well here that we still are recommending to continue. Many years ago, we implemented a health reimbursement arrangement. We started buying higher deductibles from insurance companies, and we self-insure a portion of that deductible so that employees actually enjoy a lower, more reasonable deductible. That has worked very, very well for us. It saves a lot of premium, and we are recommending to you all that we continue the health reimbursement arrangement again this year, and that the city would fund the last $3,850 of deductible, so that in the HMO plan, participants would really only see a $3,400 deductible. And I'm not saying that's small, but it's better than $7,000. Okay. So it's a way of self-insuring a part of that deductible to try and keep the expenses more reasonable when somebody does satisfy deductible.
One last clarifying question, and sorry to keep asking it. Is that the individual deductible or is that the family deductible?
So the individual deductible in the HMO is $7,250. After the HRA, the individual deductible will be $3,400 and the family deductible limit will be $6,800 per family.
After the HRA?
Yes,
Okay.
correct. In the middle plan, the high deductible is $7,500 and the third plan is $6,250.
Okay. Thank you very much.
I don't have any questions. Thank you.
Okay. Kenneth?
Okay. Then in the final stretch, I'll mention the other benefits. You offer a very comprehensive suite of other benefits. The dental, renewing with Blue Cross Blue Shield at a 3% increase, that's $1,200 annually. The vision renews with Blue Cross Blue Shield with zero increase, zero change. The life insurance, which is city paid, renews with Blue Cross with zero increase. The voluntary life, zero increase. The short-term disability and voluntary long-term disability, all with Blue Cross Blue Shield, zero increase. And then we also offer voluntary products through Colonial. We offer accident, critical illness, whole life, hospital, and cancer. Those have not changed. We also offer telemedicine through a company called Lyric. And that gives people 24-hour day access to board-certified primary care for urgent matters. And they can even get a prescription written, although they would use their plan for that piece of it. That comes also with an employee assistance program, and there's no change to the pricing on that benefit. And then we have an employee assistance program also offered through Blue Cross Blue Shield, and there's no charge for that program.
Any additional questions?
Just clarify real fast, you mentioned cancer, those are preventative, it will be free for them. Like breast cancer testing or statistical.
In the medical plan, yes. Any kind of cancer screening, whether that's well woman, mammogram, prostate, anything, will be covered 100%. There is occasionally a gotcha, and I'll mention it because it's worth noting. If I show up for my preventive colonoscopy and then I have symptoms, it can turn diagnostic very quickly. So those are the gotchas where we want to encourage people to call the Purple Card, which is a part of your Brinson service, to help fight those battles and hopefully appeal.
Yeah, there's a lot of resources for cancer out there.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely.
All right.
Any other questions for me? Thank you so much
Thank
for the
you.
privilege to work with you all.
Thank you very much.
All right.
Next up is our 2026 library card sign-up proclamation. Is our librarian here to speak?
Hi. What? Am I speaking?
Yes, it's
With the
Library
proclamation?
Card Proclamation Month. Give-
Shall I proclaim something?
Yeah, I'm just sort of.
Come to the
how
library.
this is going along.
Yeah.
I've rarely seen you for a loss of words.
Right, I know. It's very rare that happens. And it's free, absolutely. So there is a proclamation somewhere, isn't there? Oh, you have it, yeah. So it's actually September. September is National Library Card Sign-Up Month nationally. So everybody in all of the United States is, of course, getting their library cards. And so we want to encourage everybody to also take advantage of all of the wonderful, fantastic, and incredible new things we have at our Kennedale Public Library. And remember, it's free.
Well, yeah, tell us about some of those exciting things.
Well, let's start. So right now, as a matter of fact, they're doing a craft project for kids. It's a STEM project to create pumpkins out of recycled books. We also have crochet night happening right now. So we have all ages learning how to crochet and knit. We have Lego Club. We also just started announcing our new historical society information series that brings in people from all over Kennedale to talk about the history in our area. We also have a book club, and we have computer classes, and we have the maker space where you can learn to 3D print. You have the laser engraver, you have the embroidery machine. So there's a couple of things that you can do at the library
And what's the advantage of having a library card?
that you can
Just for the-
access.
Is it just for the Kennedale Library?
This one is for accessing all of our technology. You need to have a Kennedale library card. But with the Kennedale library card, you can access Mansfield and Arlington collections as well.
Oh. That's-
Pardon? You can also access ebooks. Wow, you guys, you're awesome. You know all the things. So
Train me well, Leslie.
So with your library card, you have access to 3 ebook app systems where you can download ebooks, e-audiobooks, comic books, manga, television shows, movies, music, and that's all free as well. So if you have an Audible subscription, we need to have a conversation about how you can access those books without paying an Audible subscription. So,
All right, so now I'm just going to read this proclamation for you,
fantastic.
and then we'll take a picture with all of us.
Wonderful.
All right, so whereas libraries are the foundational to education, imagination, and opportunity, offering everything from early literacy programs to digital tools that support lifelong learning and personal growth, whereas libraries welcome all people, serving as inclusive, accessible community hubs that connect individuals across cultures, generations, thank you, and experiences. Whereas libraries curate collections and design programs that reflect the diversity of the populations they serve, ensuring equitable access to information, technology, and culture for all. Whereas libraries help individuals navigate life's challenges by providing trusted information, digital access, job search support, and connections to essential services, whereas libraries contribute to the thriving local economies by equipping job seekers, entrepreneurs, students, and creators with tools and training to succeed. Whereas in times of both crisis and calm, libraries and their staff remain steadfast in supporting and strengthening their communities. Whereas libraries' resources help households save money, reduce waste, make sustainable choices, all through the simple power of shared public good. Whereas a library card opens doors to endless possibilities, from books and technology to lifelong learning and imagination. Now, therefore, be it resolved that I, Brian Johnson, Mayor of the City of Kennedale, Tarrant County, Texas, do hereby proclaim September 2026 as Library Card Sign-Up Month in Kennedale, Texas, and encourage all residents to sign up for a library card and explore the endless possibility it offers. So congratulations. I need to get a library card. I don't have a library card. I freely admit.
Recall election.
I can't even believe you said
I
that.
would have mentioned that. Okay, well, I mean, all
You'll have one in a minute.
right, let's go down and take a picture, everybody. Yeah, good point. Touche. I did open that door. Oh, okay.
We're going to
Oh.
talk, Brian. We're going to talk.
So it's Senior Center Month, which I probably should be joining as well.
Yes, yes, for sure. Get a membership over there.
So would you talk a little bit about our senior?
Sure, yes, and we have representatives from the senior center here today to accept the proclamation.
All right.
The senior center is an amazing location as well. It offers all kinds of activities for our senior population. We also have a partnership, actually a contract with Meals on Wheels so that they get their lunches there. We have not just lunch. We also have games and crafts and dominoes and bingo and music and parties and all kinds of fun activities, but they also have a lot of community in there. They spend time together, they do activities together, they converse, they have fun. Is there anything else you wanted to add? They have potlucks.
Okay.
Right, yes. So definitely, Brian.
Is that just me? Oh, great. Oh, and Kenneth. All right, Kenneth, we're going to potluck.
Yeah, but the community at the senior center, they are all extremely excited to be a part of it, and they are very excited to receive this proclamation.
All right. Well, then let me read this proclamation.
Thank you.
By the way, did you write this proclamation?
Maybe I did.
Yeah, the last one was very well written. Yeah. All right. Whereas older Americans are significant members of our society, investing their wisdom and experience enrich and strengthen our community. And whereas the Kennedale Senior Center has acted as a catalyst for mobilizing creativity, energy, vitality, and commitment of the older residents of Kennedale, Texas. And whereas through a wide range of services, programs, and activities, senior centers empower older citizens of Kennedale, Texas to contribute to their own health, well-being, and well-being of their fellow citizens of all ages. Whereas the Kennedale Senior Center has been a community partner ensuring that older adults in our community are able to stay connected, safe, and healthy. Whereas the Kennedale Senior Center affirms the dignity, self-worth, independence of older persons by facilitating their decisions and actions, tapping their experience, skills, and knowledge, and enabling them to continue contributions to their community. Now, therefore, I, Brian Johnson, Mayor of the City of Kennedale, do proclaim September 2026 National Senior Center Month and call upon all citizens to recognize the special contributions of the Senior Center participants and their special efforts of the staff and volunteers who work every day to enhance the well-being of the older citizens of our community. Well done. All right, let's go down and picture. We already got Kenneth down there, so we're good. No, my socks are just plain gray.
No, just weird.
Okay, never mind.
Your shoes and his socks.
Do you want to recess? What? I mean, do you want to recess? No, I've already, we're already moving, we're already moved into that, really. You want to recess? Yeah, okay. We're going to take a 5-minute recess real quick before we get into public comment and the public hearing. So let's take 5 minutes. We'll come back here at 6:25. All right, let's go. We're going to go right back into our meeting, back out of recess. Item number 1 is public comment. And I have a Sarah Johnson wanting to speak. So if you'll come up to the microphone, you know the drill, address. And you're going to talk about the Thanksgiving fundraiser. Let's see. First Thanksgiving fundraiser of 2026 location, Blessed Hope Baptist Church of Kennedale, Cundiff, drawings and vendors, Thrive Coffee, okay, you got that? Okay. Yeah,
Look at this.
thank you.
I think I am, but I'm the city. There we go. All right. And I'm really kind of excited that we finally got a real board with real people that wanted to help the outreach. And I just put the feelers out there. And hopefully next month, my co-partner will come with me and I'll introduce you to her. Well, we've already, if you see the senior outreach page, I'm not doing that now. She's doing that. And she includes me in that. And if you've seen, it's really improving and she's got more information and stuff. And she's very educated. And we're probably going to do some like we want to invite the city manager over to go over some things about the ride share programs and stuff. So we can share that as well on the website. My biggest thing was the hope that we get free rides just in town, because if you notice, there is a lady that walks everywhere. And right now, I know you agree that New Hope Road is a dangerous road to be walking on when you're elderly. The only place you got is the ditch. And I don't want to see that. I want to see us try to do something different to help our seniors. Okay, let me talk about the fundraiser. That actually was Brother Pete's idea. It's our annual Thanksgiving drive, okay? If you haven't noticed, this is our eighth annual drive. 80 was our 80 turkeys the first year, and last year was 236 plus the meals. So we've really come a long way. The businesses are really picking up and helping us with the turkeys. Our biggest problem is storing them, so we have to do pledges. Nobody can bring the turkeys until the night before or the day of. So hopefully with my new partner, we're going to figure that all out so we can start taking them. But it's September 12th, 5 to 9, and we're going to have drawings for different prizes. I'm not telling you what they are. You'll have to come. And so we hope that'll kick off our annual Thanksgiving drive. But we always start in August. If you don't start in August, we will not have what we need at Thanksgiving. So we hope you'll come out on September 12th at Blessed Hope Baptist. It's supposed to be a lot of fun, vendors and stuff. So thank you.
And thank you, Sarah, for all the work you do for the turkey drive and the senior outreach. Amazing work. So thank you very much. All right. Now on to the public hearing. First item is to receive public comment on the fiscal year 2026, 2027 Kennedale City budget. I don't think anybody has signed up, have they? Nope. So I will close that public hearing. Moved on to the next and open the next public hearing to receive public comment on the tax rate of 0.696190 per $100 valuation proposed by the governing body of the city of Kennedale, with a maintenance and operation rate of 0.495865 and an interest and sinking debt rate of 0.200325. I don't believe anybody has signed up for that public hearing. So we will close that public hearing. We'll move on to regular session, reports and announcements. And we'll start off a little bit different with Councilman Griffith. Yeah, throwing you for a loop. Going to go in the middle.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. So just a few things. I attended the TML newly elected officials training a few weeks ago in San Antonio. That really was a great opportunity. it's a good time to meet other civic leaders and just kind of connect, build relationships, but also get updates on things that are going on at the state level. Some of the things that sometimes might pass by us while we're elbow deep in the budget like we've been. So it was a great opportunity. Really enjoyed going, getting to go through that. Brought a few things back with me from my toolbox. And then also we have been talking about, I've been talking about a lot, building relationships in our community. So I'll be real brief on the back to school bash, but this year was very successful. We did 800 backpacks, which is 500 more than we did from the year prior. There'll hopefully be a presentation coming soon to the council on that, so I won't talk about it too much. But also at the school district, and I'll let Councilman Michael share a little bit about that as well. We spent some time with some of the school board members, talked about working together for the Youth Advisory Council, kind of trying to figure out what types of projects we could do together, things like that. So that was a very fruitful conversation. Learned a lot about the school district, a lot of things to celebrate in our community, not just the things that we're doing here, but also the hard work they're doing there. One of those big achievements is their accountability ratings are up. And so I don't know if people have been seeing that or not, but it's definitely something to be proud about. They've received multiple B ratings, and they have new programs. One that they mentioned to us and it's new this year is the Wildcat Collegiate Academy. So it's really impressive. It's giving the students an opportunity to graduate with an associate's and carry some credits into their college career. So just a lot of good things there. And then lastly for me, I just kind of wanted to mention to any of the veterans in our community, Major James Capers is receiving recognition at the National Medal of Honor Museum this month, at the end of the month. And there's resources available to get tickets to that and kind of participate and get a chance to meet him. So if anybody's interested in that, feel free to reach out to me.
Will you be posting the ticket link on?
Yeah, I'm going to post something on Facebook as soon as I get some of the specifics on that, but yeah.
All right, thank you. Well, we'll go over to Ryan. I'm throwing him up for the, yeah, I'm keeping it suspenseful.
Of course. No, I also, this last week, actually went to get my first female conference, came back with new contacts, but also this larger understanding of the differences in between the private business sector compared to the city. There are differences, as we know, but my 2 days, I came back with a lot of great information. Came back, actually had a great conversation directly afterwards with our city manager, because I had a list of questions that I came back with and ideas. I would like to thank our city staff who hosted my daughter probably 2 weeks ago as City Manager of the Day, all thanks to the Rotary Club last year. She came back. She had a great day with everyone, but she has decided that she prefers to dance. And so she does not want to be a city manager any longer. But nothing against you. You still have your job. Other than that, just a quick reminder that this is back to school. There's children traveling, there's families out there traveling. I think we all saw the news earlier this week of road rage. Please just keep that in mind. We're rational. No, we're not. We need to be rational people. And just keep that in mind that we're all human and we're trying to do the best we can. And so I'll keep that in mind as we move into the school season, sports and all. That's it. Thank you.
And I just want to point out that you're being a little bit humble. If I remember correctly, at the TML conference, you did text me that I believe I'm the best looking council member at this TML conference. Is that correct?
That is a fact. I did share that. And I also won the game show. I came in number 1. And so you should be proud.
We are. All right, David.
No TML conferences for me. It's basically been a budget meeting, but one reminder just to mention to everyone watching, Saturday, September 5th is the Bring It event. So if you have a bunch of toxic stuff at your house, batteries, tires, I have about 20 gallons in my attic. I'm going to be bringing it down to make sure they don't wind up in the landfill. It kind of goes bad up there in the heat. So don't worry about that. Saturday, September 5th, I believe Councilman Griffith's company is also helping with that. So thank you, sir. That's it for me, Mayor. Thank you.
I mean, the Bring It event is a great event. How long have we been doing that? Long time? 2006. Wow, amazing. Mayor Pro Tim Michaels. Yeah, finally. Okay.
Talked about everything that I kind of attended. The Back to School Bash was a wonderful community event. I said there was free haircuts, hot dogs for the kid, slide. I mean, yeah, it was a great turnout. I'm glad that I was asked to volunteer my time for registration. Our first meeting with the school board actually went pretty good. I mean, I've learned a lot of stuff. I mean, of course, I graduated from this district 40 years ago, and knowing what they're doing now in the district compared to what they used to do in the district, it's very humble that they have the same problems that we do. And hopefully we'll keep this committee going, and we'll start solving all the problems here in Kennedale. Couple announcements. Bring It is coming up September 5th from 9 to 12. It's a great event. It keeps a lot of hazardous materials out of the landfill and stuff like that. Go to the city website, Facebook. You will see what you can bring, what you can't bring. And we'll also need volunteers. So if you don't have nothing going on September 5th, come up and volunteer, because it's a lot of work and you're doing a lot of good. And also, we're doing a Never Forget 9/11 Memorial on September 11th. That's going to start at 9 o'clock, but hopefully we can get some people to show up early so they can see the sundial in effect. And then we're going to have Commissioner Simmons and our mayor speaking that day too. So that's it.
Jeff?
It might not be the best looking here, but we saved the best for last. Thank you, Mr. Mayor, for the time. Of course, it's been a busy month with back to school, and it's been great to see the community get out and come out of the air conditioning homes from over the summer. So good luck to all the teachers and staff. I got a personal tour of all the new facilities by Dr. G a couple weeks ago for the Kennedale News, and it is impressive to see between what we are doing and what they're doing. We have pretty much a brand new town with brand new buildings that should last a half a lifetime. So it's exciting to see all that. I did want to take the time to just, since we're talking about board appointments and we're talking about library cards, just to invite the public to the Folk Board. The Folk Board is not a government agency or a government board. It's an independent board, but we are a branch off the library to help support them in their endeavors. For example, last year we helped them with their tags for the books and shelving for the new library over there. So, and that's what these do. And we are looking to rebuild the board and keep it alive. So if you are interested in this, this is not necessarily even a meeting that's annually or quarterly. We mostly meet through email to get things done unless we go to fundraise. So if you're interested in that, reach out to me, 817-791-6698 or jeffnavarez@gmail.com, and we'll connect you. I'm looking to add 3 to 5 members and just get this board active again. And I thank you for my time.
All right, thank you. All right, updates from the city manager.
I really don't have anything to add, but since the best is last, I figured I would talk. But very well done for the council. Thank you.
All right, we're going to move on to financial reports for the city and or the EDC.
I'll just start off with saying I'm actually the last person to speak in this section. We'll get into the general fund. We're at 83% throughout the year, or 83% through the fiscal year with the end of July. Our property tax revenues are at 102% of budget. Last year at 103%, so we're still on track there. Our sales tax revenues is 61.7. That does trail behind the prior year, but I've mentioned last month, the prior year, we well under budgeted our sales tax revenue. So even at this 62%, we're still on pace to hit 100% by the end of the fiscal year. Our investment revenue to date, again, that's cash received, is a little bit over 170,000. Our expenditures are at 74.9%. This time last year, we were at 74.8. So I don't know if our budget could be closer than that, really. Our fund balance, our reserve is 39%. Right now, that compares to 44% last year. Moving on to the water sewer fund, our sales to date is 69.2%. This time last year, we're at 68.9. Sewer sales at 90.8 this year. Last year, we're at 78.4. I do want to point out that these are a month behind, as they have been for over a year now. Utility billing and operations, our expense side, 79%. Current year is compared to 81% prior year. Stormwater fund, drainage fees at 67% compared to 74. Again, that's still on pace to hit that 100%. Expense side at 75% current year compared to 81% last year. Hitting the EDC, our sales tax revenue, 71% currently versus 65, so we're ahead of pace there. Our rental fees, I do want to highlight these are a month behind. Our publishing deadline was prior to us receiving that information from the property manager. That is why the 75.2%, that doesn't bother me at all because we don't have the July numbers. And really with that, I'll just pause for any questions.
Any questions for Jonathan?
Director Horton, just back to the water fund for just a second. Being at 69% right now for water service sales for the year, you still feel pretty confident that with everyone watering their yards now through this summer heat, we'll get to 100% by the end of the budget cycle?
Yeah. I mentioned the prior year was at 68.9%. I went back and looked at FY24 and it was a little bit over 70%. But in FY24, we were not a month behind like we were in 25. And then the current year, 26 reporting, that's just the trend. Last year, we did exceed 100% of our budget for sales on both the water and sewer service. So I have complete confidence we'll eclipse that 100% by the end of the fiscal year.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir.
Any other questions? All right.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next up is the consent agenda. These matters have appeared on previous agendas, require little or no deliberation, or considered routine or ministerial tasks. If discussion is desired, items may be removed for separate consideration. Is anybody wanting to remove any items from the consent agenda? If not, I'll entertain a
Mayor,
motion to approve.
I don't want to remove it, but can I make a comment on number 3 regarding the Atmos rate? Is that allowed?
I'm asking my attorney. You want me to remove it off?
I don't,
Yeah, we'll move it off. You want to make a motion to move item 3 to the regular?
Mayor, I'll make a motion to move item number 3 to the items for individual consideration.
Mr. Mayor, I second.
All right. We have a motion, a second. Any other discussion? Enter your vote. We'll take it off. I could have done that smoother. All right. I'll now entertain a motion for items 1 and 2 on the consent agenda.
Mr. Mayor, I make a motion to approve consent items 1 and 2.
I will second it.
All right. Please enter your vote. There we go. Motion passes 5-0. Oh, we are going to move on to items for individual consideration, discussion, and/or action. Just, I know, but that's going to have to be under individual. I'm just moving it down. I just want to make note that, correct me if I'm wrong, Daryl, that item 8 will not be on the agenda tonight. It has been pulled. Item 8 has been pulled. All right, so then the first item up is ordinance of the City Council, City of Texas, approving the negotiated settlement between Atmos Energy Steering Committee and Atmos Energy Corporation Mid-Tex Division regarding the company's 2026 rate review and mechanism filing. David.
Thank you, Mayor. My only comment on this is that this isn't a number that we had any part in the negotiation. We're simply accepting the number that was negotiated on our behalf with Atmos. To boil it down, just based on some simple research, this will affect residents' gas prices to the tune of about $13 a month based on 40 or so 100 cubic feet used each month. So just factor that in mind. Your bill is going up a little bit, but it's not something that we have much control over here.
Good point. All right, I'll entertain a motion then to approve the ordinance of the City Council approving the negotiated settlement between Atmos Steering Committee and Atmos Energy Corporation Mid-Texas Division regarding the company's 2026 rate review mechanism filing.
Mr. Mayor, I'll make a motion to approve the ordinance of the City Council to approve the negotiated settlement between the Atmos City Steering Committee and Atmos Energy Corp. Mid-Texas Division.
Do I have a second?
Mr.
Mayor,
Mayor,
a second.
Any further discussion? If not, please enter your vote. Motion passes 5-0. Next item, discuss and hold a roll call vote to take action on an ordinance of the City of Kennedale adopting the budget for the fiscal year beginning October 1, 2026 and ending September 30th, 2027, appropriating resources for each department, project, operation, activity, purchase, account, and other expenditures, providing for emergency expenditures and expenditures as allowed by applicable state law, providing for the filing and posting of the budget as required by state law, and providing a severability clause, and providing an effective date. Jonathan.
Thank you, sir. For this item and then the two following, I have language that has to be read for anybody. If we do get a motion to approve, I can hand that language. This is very specific. Regarding this first step, the budget we started a bond issuance workshop on June 15th. We've had 3 budget workshops since. I believe we've had some robust and direct questions during that time. The budget that's presented before you is the genesis of all those discussions. I won't read any more directly from your packet. I will just pause for questions, and if anyone is so inclined to make a motion to approve, I will hand that to you.
John, just one quick clarification, really. Before it becomes our budget, are you happy with your budget?
The finance budget or the
I'm
city's
making
budget?
yours so it's ours.
I'm happy with what we came up with. I do believe I appreciated the conversation we had. I think we had some difficult conversations here, but we did get more feedback on council's priorities than we have since I've been here. So that's some dialogue I definitely appreciate. And I feel working together between council and staff, we have a budget right now that's in front of you that we can all be proud of.
Any questions for Jonathan before we have an emotion? Did I say an emotion? Okay, all right. All right, then I'll entertain a motion.
This is the serious one. Mr. Mayor, I move to approve ordinance 803 for the City of Kennedale, Texas, adopting the budget for the fiscal year beginning October 1st, 2026 and ending September 30th, 2027, appropriating resources for each department, project, operation, activity, purchase, account, and other expenditures, providing for emergency expenditures and expenditures as allowed by applicable state law, providing for the filing and posting of the budget as required by state law, providing a severability clause, and providing an effective date.
Second.
I have a motion is second. Further discussion? If not, please enter your vote. Do I have to roll call it out loud? Then, okay, do it for sure. Councilman Navarez.
Aye.
Ryan?
Aye or yay?
Kenneth?
Aye.
Persons?
Aye.
David?
Aye.
Motion passes unanimously. Next item, discuss and take action on the ratification of the property tax for fiscal year 2027.
I'll just be quick. It'll be the same thing as far as language goes, but this and the next item, as far as the language is written, I understand that it may be confusing. We are above the no new revenue rate, but due to mathematics, we are actually decreasing the amount of our total tax levy. I'll pause for questions on that before handing over this, the language.
Any questions from the council?
John, can you just say that one more time? Because there was some question on Facebook in this past week.
Please.
Yes, the short version is that because our rate that we're proposing this evening is above the no new revenue rate, we do have to call that an increase. However, the overall tax levy is less. So that's when we get to the second part, how it says it's an effective decrease. That's where this comes to play. It's essentially a mathematical quirk. And we have to use certain language as dictated by our state legislature. So that's where we're caught in between what we have to say legally and then operationally how the end result plays out.
Thank you for explaining that. Thank you.
John, could you speak to that decrease?
In what sense, sir?
If you could identify the difference, the amount, the dollar amount.
Okay, sure. On our disclosures, you'll notice that our average homestead, the taxable value of our average homestead has decreased. So that's really one of three. The second of three is the exemption amount on business personal property has increased. So in that sense, there is a break for business tax. And then the third piece is to calculate the tax rate itself, we have to pull the value of property that's within that senior tax freeze. But we consider that property for the total levy amount. And that's really where the math fights itself right now. But there was a decrease in the value in that tax frozen property as well. But pulling that out of the rate calculation and then putting it back in that levy total is what causes us to have the increase above the no new revenue rate, but the decrease in total levy.
Right, and so the amount that I saw in there, correct me if I'm wrong, the total city levy was a decrease of 42,500 somewhere.
That lines up with our disclosure, yes.
Okay.
Now, this is only talking about property tax. I do want to be clear about that. This whole conversation we've had is property tax only.
And then you talked about the no new revenue. Can you talk about the difference between the no new revenue and what were proposed here, our current tax rate?
It's under $20,000 as far as the levy goes. It's, I think it's in the thousands. So it's a very, very minuscule amount. However, you will notice, well, I'll pause until we get to the approval on the next step. I don't want to get ahead of ourselves.
So if you went to the effective rate, what of a percentage, 100th% that would be?
Yeah, it's the third number from the decimal on the right.
Right.
I think it's 0.02 of a cent.
Right. It's about 2,000th?
Right. So what's proposed is 0.696 and the no new revenue is 0.694.
Okay. Any other questions for Jonathan? I'll turn it over to Councilman Navarez then.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, and great job, John, by the way. I move to ratify the property tax increase as reflected in the adopted fiscal year 2027 budget.
Now, that one does not recall a roll call. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
All right, any further discussion? If not, please enter your vote. Motion passes 5-0. Next item, discuss and hold a roll call vote to take action on an ordinance of the City of Kennedale levying municipal ad valorem taxes for use and support of the municipal government of the City of Kennedale, Texas for 2026-2027 fiscal year at the rate of 0.696190 per $100 value for each year thereafter until otherwise provided on all taxable property within the corporate limits of the city of Kennedale, providing for apportioning each levy for specific purposes, and providing when taxes shall become due and when the same shall become delinquent if not paid, approving the tax rolls, providing a severability clause, repealing conflicting ordinances, providing a savings clause, and providing an effective date.
Similar to before, I do have the mandatory language, and we are, because we're above that no new revenue rate, we do have to say we increased. However, our property tax is effectively a decrease in the rate due to the levy for FY27 being less than FY26.
So clarify, we're saying we're increasing taxes even though for the homeowner, the taxes will decrease.
Yes, sir. Welcome to Texas.
Okay. All right, well, that's clear. Thank you. Any questions for Jonathan? Go ahead.
I don't have any questions. I just wanted to reiterate or reemphasize, how much we appreciate the hard work that the staff did this cycle. I believe that in years past, it's taken a lot longer for us to get to the finish line, and that's just a reflection of a lot of dedication, hard work. Working through things. You got 5 or 6 different opinions steering you in different directions, and I think you guys did an amazing job. And then just a comment on even years past leading up to now, I think in the last 5 years, we've effectively dropped our rate by 8%. And even the years that we didn't reduce the rate, we were able to stabilize where we were at. And if you're looking at the greater metropolitan area and the state, just recognizing how much of a triumph that is and how challenging it is to do that. So just kudos to you guys and thank you for the hard work.
Well stated. All right. Do we have language?
Could I add commentary real quick, just
Okay.
again? And this is to add on to Griff, which I think is great. Really, for everyone who's not here, we need to understand also this next year that the city's taking a deduction overall into our property tax revenue that we expect next year versus this year. That growth is not there. And so the staff that dies, we've worked together over these past 8 months, 8 weeks, and we have reached a point where we feel comfortable with a strong budget that leaves our tax rate alone, but also at the same time meets the needs that we have as a city, as well as the wishes that we have all brought to the table. And for all, please keep in mind that we all remember that our city tax rate at the end only represents 30% of your overall tax rate on your property taxes. And so when you look at those property taxes, this tax rate that is going unchanged only represents 30%. So the other 90%, the other 70% is coming from state, county, hospital, schools. And so please keep that in mind.
Yeah, well said. All right, Jeff?
Hey, Mr. Mayor, I just want to say, Ms. Griffith, you are 100% on point with that, even with our neighbors. Some of our neighbors are really scared this year, for sure. And I've been in contact with Tad consistently in the last couple of months, just to make sure, to let them know where we're at, because they're studying us as well as other cities in Tarrant County. But you're spot on. The one difference is that we did all that and we did improvements. And that I'm going to get put on Mr. Hull. That's from his leadership. Like you said, the last 5 years, that's done from him. And I always defend that we've always been fiscally responsible while maintaining maintenance and improvements around here. And that truly is the definition of fiscal responsibility. With that in mind, I move that the property tax rate be increased by the adoption of a tax rate of 0.696190, which is effectively a 0.492% decrease in the tax rate.
Mr. Mayor, second.
All right. Any further discussion? All right, then we'll do a roll call vote. Councilman Navarez,
Aye.
Councilman Ray,
Aye.
Councilman Glover,
Aye.
Councilman Griffith,
Aye.
Mayor Pro Tem Michaels.
Aye.
Motion passes unanimously. And also, thank you for doing such a great job on the budget. I mean, I was a bit rusty, but you guys helped steer me through, and I know Griff and Ryan were back new to this, so I thought it was an excellent job by the staff. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right, next up, discuss and take action on ordinance 805 authorizing the issuance and sale of delivery up to $5 million in aggregate principal amount of combination tax and revenue certificates of obligations, Series 2026, for the purpose of acquiring vehicles and equipment and constructing, improving, repairing, and equipping capital improvements for authorized city purposes, including water and sewer improvements, parks improvements, street and sidewalk and drainage improvements, securing the payment thereof, of authorizing the levy of an annual ad valorem tax and a pledge of certain surplus revenues of the city's municipal waterworks and sewer system, and providing for the authorization, the execution of all other instruments and procedures related thereto.
Is that better?
Oh, yeah.
Behind that page is the pricing page that shows the principal amounts payable over the course of 20 years and the yield related to each of those maturities, roughly between $312,000 in annual debt service, but principal and interest up to about $383,000 before finally maturing in 2046. These COs will be callable, meaning we can take them from the investors February 1st of 2035 without any penalty, and the interest rate is fixed for the life of the certificates of obligation. As part of the issuance process, just as we have over the years when we borrow, we went to Standard & Poor's rating agency to get our credit rating reviewed ahead of this sale. The city's credit rating was affirmed, meaning they kept it the same as it was at AA with a stable outlook. In the hierarchy of bond ratings, AAA is the highest rating you can have, then a AA plus, then AA where we are. So we have a very, very high investment grade credit rating that helps us to get the lowest interest rate available in the market at a given time. So very pleased with that. The rating report, which Mr. Hull and Mr. Horton have and can pass along to you all, speaks very highly of the city, particularly of y'all's governance over the past several years, but also of the strong administrative oversight and processes that have been put in place. So really tip my hat to your administration putting things like fund balance in place, managing the budget very conservatively, where we've been able to build up reserves over time. Those are credit positives that help us to get that, one, that higher credit rating, and two, keep that borrowing cost as low as possible. So with that, I'm happy to answer any questions that you all have. Otherwise, would recommend this for approval for you all.
Could you confirm that there's no prepayment penalty?
There is no prepayment penalty. We cannot take them from the investors until we reach that call date of February 1st, 2035. And that's a standard, what's known as a standard call feature. All of our debt is sold with that 9 to 10-year call option. In order to price our debt with a sooner call option, you pay a premium for that, meaning a higher interest rate in effect.
Thank you.
You're very welcome.
David, any questions?
No, Mr. Mayor, thank you.
No questions, thank you.
Kenneth?
Just thanks again. You know, you guys have been with us for a long, long time now, and you've always done great work and got us great rates and encouraged us to get better credit ratings over the years, which we've inched our way there. So I appreciate y'all's hard work and working with us.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
All right. Since no other questions, I'll entertain a motion on ordinance 805.
Mr. Mayor, I make a motion to approve ordinance 805.
Mr. Mayor, I second.
Any further discussion? If not, please enter your vote. Motion passes unanimously.
Mr. Mayor, could I interrupt you for just 1 second?
Oh, okay. If I don't sign this, what does that mean? I'm kidding, of course. Pay no attention to me.
Thank you very much.
Thank
sir.
you.
Thank you all.
All right, next item, discuss and consider approval of a bid for health, dental, life, vision, and accidental death and dismemberment, AD&D, and voluntary life insurance, and authorize the city manager to sign the agreements. Yes.
Do you have any questions for me? I think Dawn probably answered most of your questions, but if you have any additional questions, I'm happy to answer them.
Any questions for Danielle?
Just one for you, Danielle, and Dodd did a great job explaining that, and you don't have to do any of that. But are you happy with the rates and where we're at? Are you happy with, because you've done this process for us before?
Yeah. So for what we were given this year, this is the best option that provides the most value at the lowest cost and is most comparable to what we currently offer. So, yes.
Any other questions?
And they say that, you know, it's 2 guarantees of life, there's deaths and taxes, but there's also increase in insurance. So, and expect that with everybody expect that with your car insurance too. They're projecting doubling by next year. So this isn't abnormal. This is pretty normal. But for now, I'll make a motion to approve, make sure I get it, the approval of the award for health and dental, life, vision, and accidental death and dismemberment and voluntary insurance, and authorize the city manager to sign the agreement.
Do you have a second?
Second.
Further discussion? If not, please enter your vote. Motion passes 5-0. All right.
Last time this evening, I do promise.
All right, so this is annual review of investment policy.
This is a requirement from the Texas Public Funds Investment Act that we review this policy annually. This evening will fulfill our obligation for fiscal year 26. Ironically, given who won the bid for our bonds, our single change is removing R.W. Baird Incorporated / Jeffrey Carroll from our list of approved broker dealers. We've closed accounts with R.W. Baird and they've been closed for several months. We don't anticipate using that vendor in the future. So that's the only change I'm recommending to our policy at this time.
Any questions for Jonathan?
John, are we going to roll this debt that we pulled on into an investment short term?
That all depends on when we plan on spending it. Far as the Quint, we've been discussing options as if we get a discount for. Yes, the short answer is yes, depending on our projected spend out dates.
And
If we're not gonna buy the Quint early, then we'll put it as part of our investment plan. If we're going to try to get that purchase upfront discount, we won't have the funding available. But all of this that we're not going to immediately use gets rolled into our investment program.
Excellent. And other than that, our investments, I know you moved a few months ago. Our portfolio is pretty strong and healthy for what.
Yes, yeah, and we're insulated against any future rate changes. We do have a program that'll insulate us from any potential damage there. We have funding at least what I'm seeing immediately is that our short-term gains are a little bit bigger than some of the long-term investments. So the idea being we're protected against volatility in the future while allowing us to be able to have access to liquid funding if we need it and also take advantage of some of the short-term increases that we've seen.
So put it in layman's terms for you, for the average citizen, we have different revenues to pull from if there was an emergency later on in life. Excellent. Thank you. Great work.
If there are any questions, I'll recommend or ask for a motion to adopt a resolution affirming an update of city's investment policy has taken place and accept the updated policy as attached.
I do so move.
Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Any further discussion? Then please enter your vote. Motion passes 5-0.
Thank you.
Are you done for the night, John?
Unless you call me back up here, sir.
Okay. All right, next up, ordinance 799, consider a proposal amendment to the Unified Development Code, UDC, Article 14, signs, Table 14.7, permanent sign requirements, and Section 14.8.15, prohibited signs. The primary action being to amend pole sign provisions and changeable electronic variable messages standards. Zoning district affected include the employment center districts, EC1, EC2, commercial industrial districts, C0, C1, C2, and I. And I believe this is Ed.
Make sure I get the microphone going here. Thank you, Mr. Mayor and members of the council. Ed McCrory, Community Development Director. And the beginning of this slide represents the situation we find ourselves in, right? Some of you have been outside may have recognized that the mercury in your thermometers outside are being pressed really hard right now. So, and I will also mention that since we're August the 18th, it is actually a number of official days, including Fajita Day, National Ice Cream Pie Day, National Peanut War Day, and one of my favorites is National Bad Poetry Day. Okay, so I did not create a limerick for this evening, as it might not be appropriate when I get done. So this is the item that we had last city council meeting. We're basically just modifying our sign ordinance to allow for some larger billboard signs and for electronic digital signs, primarily along the highway, Interstate 20 and the frontage roads, right? So the only change that we have for you this evening is we've made the modifications we talked about the last time with the 10 seconds, and clarifying the language about the right of way. I have taken out the language that has to do with the monument signs in the OT4 districts. There was not a clear direction in the last meeting as to how to move forward on that. And so it was our thought that we would just take that out at this point in time, and we would roll consideration of that in with the update of our Unified Development Ordinance. That way we'd have plenty of time to consider that, not feel rushed, and we could get a good consensus about how to treat those things. Like I say, the point here is we're just basically allowing for some larger signs along the highway for properties that are adjacent to the highway, to Interstate 20. And if you have any questions about that, I'll be happy to answer, but it's basically the same ordinance we talked about last month.
Any questions for Ed? All right, then I'll entertain a motion to approve ordinance 799.
Mr. Mayor, I make a motion to approve ordinance number 799.
All right, I have a motion. Do I have a second?
Mr. Mayor, second.
Give it to Griff.
Any further discussion? Please enter your vote. Motion passes unanimously. Again, PZ case 2614 has been pulled from the agenda at the request of the developer. All right, so last item on the regular agenda is consider approval of a construction contract with Tanksco Incorporated for the rehabilitation of the T3 elevated storage tank.
If you have any questions, I'll do my best to answer them. Christian was unfortunate to be unable to be here.
Just give us a quick summary of what we're doing.
Basically, it's the maintenance of T3, which is the elevated tank on by Linda. So everything that you saw on August the 4th is roughly the same thing you're seeing today. It's gone from a bid to a contract concept. So there's nothing different on the presentation, what was given on the 4th.
Any questions for Daryl?
Just two short ones, I guess. When's the expected starting and finish date if we approve it today?
Soon as we'll have, once approved, we'll have a meeting, pre-meeting construction meeting with the company, go through the process again, and we should be within 30 days starting. The idea is that we'll be completed by the end of the year.
Excellent. And then obviously it's one of our bigger elevated tanks for pressure. How's that going to affect pressure on that side of town?
I don't think we're going to have any difference in it. One of the reasons why it's going to be probably 60 days, a minimum of 30 to 60 days. And the reason why, once we get out of the summer months, the water consumption will be less. So that's what intentions are. So we shouldn't see a dramatic decrease in any service by any means.
Gotcha. And then what's the expected lifetime with the rebuild of this, I guess is what it is.
As long as we continue our maintenance, regular maintenance, as Christian put it, we should have it in 85 years.
Sweet.
But as long as we continue to do the annual maintenance, it should last a very long time.
And is that internal or Arlington that's doing the maintenance? Are we doing the maintenance or are they doing?
Technically, Arlington will be doing it. It'll be by a third party. That's basically what we're doing now. We'll do again. It just won't have to be to this extent.
And then just refresh my memory, maybe give some information for the new council. This is stemming from a bond that we took 2 years ago now, I think it is. And this is what's left over to fix the water system.
Yes, it's ARPA funds.
Oh, okay.
And bond money.
And bond money.
Yes.
Oh, okay. Yeah, okay, the ARPA, yeah.
Any other questions, David? Griff? Kenneth?
Just to answer one of Jeff's question is, if I remember right, there's a ground storage tank over there too, and we also have booster pumps, so that should fix the problems.
Ryan? No. All right, then I'll entertain a motion to approve the contract with Tanksco for the rehabilitation of T3 elevated storage tank.
Mr. Mayor, I make a motion to approve the construction contract with Tanksco Incorporated for the rehabilitation of the T3 elevated storage tank.
Do I have a second?
I second it.
Any further discussion? If not, please enter your vote. Motion passes 5-0. I will entertain a motion right now to go into executive session per section 551.074 of the code and 551 section .072 deliberation regarding purchase, exchange, lease, or value of real property. Do I have a motion to go in?
Make a motion, we go into executive session.
Second.
Second.
Any further discussion? If not, please enter your vote. Motion passes unanimously. All right. You don't hear me complaining. Really? Well, I think you guys did a really good job. Don't underestimate what you guys did there. See, I well know that karma's gonna come back and bite me.
I'll blow your ass right off the sides. That's when I don't give a shit. They call chief and call me out.
I know it's gonna happen someday. Hi, PG.
Sir, later. You know what I forgot?
What? Oh.
So now, I feel like
Mhm.
and we already have
I'm about trying to figure out where we can store turkeys.
Huh?
I gotta think about where we can store turkeys.
Yes.
Besides at the city council, there's a lot of us there. Right. And that's very difficult. Yeah. All right, I'll think about it. Are there any motions to be made out of executive session?
Mr. Mayor, I'll make one more motion for the night. I make a motion to approve Josh Altum and Joe Taylor to the P and Z board with a term ending in September 2026.
Do I have a second?
Mr. Mayor, second.
Any further discussion?
Just a point of order clarification. Should it be approve or appoint?
Appoint. Thank you. You said approve.
I amend my motion to appoint.
Yeah, thank you. Do I have it? Yes, second again. Good.
Mr. Mayor, I second.
All right. Any further discussion? If not, please enter your vote. Motion passes unanimously. I now declare this meeting to be adjourned.
Just